It's time.
A rising flame was alight as the flow of time carved a new history for Fodlan. The ambitions of the Fell King Nemesis were crushed, averting what could
Finn
have
has
been the
just
greatest
tipped
crisis in the
$20 with the
history of
message for
Fodlan.
Fodlan's New Dawn
After
Black
5.5
Heart.
years of war, a new age was set to begin. Country, faith, history, all that had once formed the order of the world was wiped clean. The heroes whose very hands saved Fodlan from a dark fate commenced with the building of a new society. The leaders of this new, unified Fodlan began their walk down a seemingly endless path, one towards a world that would cherish differences in race and belief, one where all life would be valued equally. Those leaders clung to the hope that their path would not end with Fodlan, that it would someday span the seas to Dagda and beyond the throat to Elmira.
Hey, Professor. What are you doing daydreaming in a place like this? I was doing the same thing, but still. I've been thinking, Professor. I worked hard to make it this far. All I wanted was to enjoy life, but so much for that. I had to go and become diligent, and it's entirely your fault. Yes, you believed in me even when I told you not to. When I failed, you encouraged me. You kept looking out for me. Being treated like that, well, it made me want to try harder. I've gone to such lengths for you, you know. What a pain. Ha! Does that mean I'm off the hook now? I guess it doesn't matter because peace is here.
Hello, Leia.
No more hard work. Let's celebrate. Aw, what? I thought the fighting was over. Does this mean what I think it means? Wow, If I accept, we'll be depending on each other for the rest of our lives. Your life's gonna be hard. You want to lay that burden on me too? Here I thought I was free as a bird again. Don't you think this is a bit much? You're doing it again, overestimating me. And yet, I have no choice but to accept. It's all your fault again. This time, for making me fall in love with you. I do have one condition, however. Don't go thinking you can keep expecting things from me. A girl's gotta draw a line in the sand somewhere. From now on, I'm only going to do the things I want to do. So, say if I want to support you for the rest of our lives, I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll do the best I can. As for you, you had better keep taking care of me too. Got it? Well then, now that all of that is settled, I happily accept. Thank you for watching over me and believing in me. Let's keep doing that for each other for the rest of our lives.
Is this where we get to see all the other endings? What happened to everyone? Please tell me yes.
Well, yeah, but first you gotta go through the battle data.
God. Oh, no. What happened at the Assault of the Rite of Rebirth that it took me 20 turns? What happened at the Underground Chamber that it took me 21?
That would be Death Knight and Death Knight.
Oh, yeah. And me insistently trying to kill it. These are questions that I have nearly 100 hours of video to answer. And then Lysithios like, salvation at the chapel? Yo, I got you, fam. And then we're gonna see a bunch of Lysithia being the MVP. But the Fuba proud now. Give it time. The numbers will swell.
That one time I forced Manuela to be the MVP.
Yup. That's the right answer, Monobender. We joked about it, but I'm actually glad I didn't let any of you tell me to kill Lorenz. Even after the war's end, skirmishes continued to break out across Vogtland. Bored and restless in his capacity as Duke Fraldarius, Felix abandoned his title, jumping at the opportunity to wield a sword again. Little is known of his whereabouts thereafter, but even many years later, soldiers continued to whisper rumors of a mysterious man able to deal swift death to scores of enemies. Seteth remained at the monastery and worked to restore the authority of the Church of Seros. Doing away with his old strictness, he adopted a tolerant stance towards all. His encouragement of believers to respect those of other faiths helped the people of Fodland to find common ground with others. Shortly after the war, Shamir gave up the mercenary life and disappeared. Though she was never heard from again, rumors swirled persistently for years of a master archer turned thief who lined her pockets by shaking down all those who preyed upon the innocent. Anna's business savvy proved to be a great asset in the post-war reconstruction of Garrick Mach. Once the restoration was complete, she disappeared from the area entirely, though tales of the mysterious merchant were passed down in every corner of the world for centuries to come. Some say she continues her travels even to this day, eternally peddling her wares and ever in search of the next lucrative opportunity. After the war, Hanneman and Manuela had a grand wedding ceremony to which all of their many students were invited. Later, as Garrick Mach came to be restored, the Officers' Academy finally reopened, with a renewed focus on accepting students regardless of status. Manuela and Hanneman returned to work as teachers almost as if nothing had changed, and filled the halls with their banter in the way only married couples can. Their relationship spawned a trend of romances among colleagues at the Officers' Academy, but that is an entirely different story. Nobody cares, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Soon after the war, Lorenz assumed leadership over House Gloucester and helped govern Fordland as a representative of the Old Alliance Lords. His political talent yielded really nothing because nobody cares about him. Unable to serve Rhea any longer, Cyril nearly left the church. He was persuaded to stay, however, to assist in rebuilding the monastery he had helped maintain. Thanks to his devoted work ethic, the Officers' Academy was able to reopen a few years later. When the new students took the reception hall, Cyril had found himself amongst them. Dorothea returned to the Mittelfrank Opera as soon as the war was over. Thanks to her talent, the company enjoyed a resurgence in popularity that lasted well beyond the end of her own career. Once she gave up her position as a songstress, she settled down to a private life of peace and quiet. It is said that she was very happily married. Mercedes left home and went to Garrick Mach, where she became a model cleric. She devoted the whole of her life to the service of the goddess and became well loved by the people, who revered her for her piety and her boundless generosity towards those in need. When Galatea territory was seized, Ingrid argued strongly for the preservation of its borders. Her request was granted, and she was appointed to rule. From her new position, she gave her all to ensure that the people of Galatea lived peaceful lives and put in years of hard work to reform its farming practices. Her efforts bore fruit, to the people's delight, and Galatea became a land of plenty. Flayn disappeared soon after the war, and over time it was all but forgotten that she had ever existed. Many long years, later, a young woman resurfaced in a completely transformed Fodlan. When she looked to the man who stood beside her, she wondered if it would be alright, in this new era, to call him father. Marianne returned home to a warm welcome from her adopted father, who recognized her wisdom and skill and began to groom her as his successor. During that time, she had a chance reunion with Ignatz, who had persuaded his family to allow him to travel the world as an artist. Marianne wholeheartedly supported his work, and before long came to be enchanted not merely by the landscapes and portraits of all he had seen in his travels, but also by his character. The romance between artist and patron was considered unusual, but long after their wedding, the story of how they fell in love was immortalized in popular plays. Raphael returned to his hometown to serve as liege lord as a knight, and spent his spare time helping out at the inn that his family has opened during his time away. Due to his grandfather's age, he was compelled before long to give up knighthood and manage the inn full-time. Soon after that, the inn began to be frequented by Lysithea and her family, who had renounced all claim to nobility and begun life as commoners. Lysithea found a kindred spirit in Raphael's sister Maya, and before long found herself helping out around the place too. Eventually, she was put in charge of the kitchen, where it is said she spent the rest of her days happily working. Leonie returned to Samhain village to repay her debts and mysteriously vanished afterwards. Some years later, when trade between Fodlan and Elmyra began in earnest, the village received notice that the Elmyran king would be passing through on his way to Garreg Mach. The village rushed to prepare themselves. When the anticipated day arrived, they were shocked to find Leonie at the king's side. She had gone to visit Claude and Elmyra, and had ended up staying to become his queen. Faced with the sight of Leonie in the resplendent clothing of a monarch, her father and the other villagers could do nothing but stand in mute amazement. Jason announced his marriage to Hilda shortly after becoming leader of the United Kingdom of Fodlan. As queen, Hilda rarely took part in politics herself, but she nevertheless contributed greatly to the restoration of Fodlan by recommending exceptional people to influential positions. Her hobby of creating fashionable accessories also bore fruit, as her design achieved widespread popularity, and she created the first artisan academy in Fodlan. The school produced many talented craftsmen, one of whom created a statue that expertly captured the king's delight at receiving the gift of a bracelet from the queen.
Listen, with Byleth, you can just walk into a thicket of enemies and let them just go. And you can't do that with Lysithea.
Not in this playthrough.
Not yet.
Not yet. Don't worry. New Game Plus is a thing. I won't be doing the entire New Game Plus stuff on stream, but I do have some ideas for some really fun builds. And I keep seeing Mortal Savant Lysithea with Levin swords, because the whole thing to make Lysithea, a better combatant is just involves making her capable of taking a few hits, and then making her, a sword master and a Mortal Savant, and giving her Astra so that she can hit 5 times with a magic sword in one turn.
Yeah, but you saw how much damage she can do in one hit. It's not really necessary. It's fun.
It is fun.
But
Look, I just wanna see if I could get her to the point where she hits for triple digits 5 times.
Also, Lysithea's ending with Hanuman. Hanuman ends up removing both of her crests, and she takes over as crest scholar.
Huh.
So, that's pretty neat. But I like her ending with Raphael. It's pretty sweet.
That's cute.
And it was worth it to get the Manuela Hahnemann ending.
Yes, it was. Though I am still curious as to what happens if I choose no one to marry. Well, that's why we have that alternate save file, so I can satiate that curiosity.
Yep, unfortunately you do have to redo the entire last fight, but...
Actually, that did take, like, over an hour. Yeah, I think I might watch it on YouTube, actually. Then you turn to me and I stop before I know. And the lie upon my lips, I let it go. Cross my heart, making vows I know will be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make the announcement here in regards to in regards to the things that I do plan on doing in regards to Fire Emblem Three Houses. If you're watching this on YouTube, please look forward to the fact that, yeah, New Game Plus is going to be off stream, and it's going to be done in the form... I don't know if I'm going to do the entire game recorded, because that is a lot of dedication. But there's a lot of, like, little things here or there that I do want to do, and that's going to be done in the form of paralogs. So it'll be its own playlist. And that'll be a thing to look forward to. Oh yeah, it'll probably end up... Like, getting to those key points will definitely, Getting to those key points will definitely be me just playing in bed or whatnot, but the key points will definitely be recorded. Yes, Fenris, those are ending credits. Oh, and Finn, don't forget Ignatz and Marianne getting married. Look, both Ignatz and Marianne ended up, like, developing an uncanny confidence in themselves. You saw how Ignatz became a badass in combat. And I can guarantee you that with his family being like, you know what, travel the world and be an artist, he was just like, I can do anything. Marianne still had some work to do, but I'm convinced that with the steps she's taken, like, she was in a dark place. She was in a very dark place. And, like, once you start that path, and once you finally get your head above water, the sky's the limit. But yes, we could take this off the bucket list. Edits. Nearly 100 hours. This was what, like 5-6 months of streams? Oh no, next week is Fire Emblem Engage for sure. I've been chomping at the bit for it for weeks. But
You think we're gonna take a break?
Jesus. I was a good boy and I finished this game before. Yeah. I was good and didn't start doing 2 at once because Monobender was right and I probably wouldn't have finished this. I'm not gonna lie, the last couple of chapters I probably still would have speedrun. Because I would have been like, okay, let's get to the side stories, let's get to the other houses. Because like, it's been a long time since I've actually played through an entire RPG that's like nearly 100 hours of playtime. It's been a very, very long time since I've actually been okay with that much time in a game.
Well, good company does tend to help with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
But, you know, the whole gaming is better together thing. How many times have I said that?
A lot.
So much credits that it actually goes into screensaver mode twice. So I also think that going ahead, I think we're gonna do like a special little side thing where I'll react to all of the proposals. I'll find a video of it. And I think that will be the first paralogue. I'm sure I could steal Finn away for half an hour.
Oh man, I just don't know.
Oh my god.
And that's the end. Yeah. I mean, I was here for 97, almost 97 and a half hours, so,
Yeah. There we go. That is the end of it. All right. Well, this is going to have so much more oomph to it, but hey guys, I'll see you next game.